Hello friends, Kumud here. And friends, you see this plant, this is known as Aglaonema snow white and also Aglaonema snowflakes because of its designing on the leaves. So this is a very precious plant and also air purifying plant, ornamental and considered very lucky because wherever you keep it gives beauty to that corner or to the centerpiece. So we are going to discuss about this plant today. So friends, although this plant comes a little costly, but because of its propagation method, it comes out cheap in the long run. And if you can see, there are lots of baby plants coming out from the roots. So we can propagate in this season and make a few more plants for our garden. Among all the other Aglaonema plants, friends, this comes out as a very strong plant. This can resist the severe winters also, and nothing adverse happens to this plant. Although the other Aglaonemas, their roots start getting rot or their leaves start getting rot, but comparatively this plant is stronger. And you see the stems, this has already given about 4 5 plantlets, but it is still looking fresh and healthy. So let's talk about its soil preparation, friends. For its soil preparation, we need three main things. One is the garden soil, and mixed with lots of compost. Means the garden soil has to be less and compost has to be more. So the equal amount of that is perlite, and equal amount of that is our coco peat. Why coco peat? So much coco peat and so much perlite? Because the soil has to be very light and fluffy, because its roots are little fleshy, and they need very soft soil and fluffy soil to expand in the surrounding area. So friends, after taking all these three things, we have to add little fungicide on this, because this plant particularly is it does get rot during monsoon season and winter season especially. So once the winters have subsided, we have to make new soil for the plant. So we have to add little Epsom salt also, friends. And the main ingredient for this soil mix is the bone meal. Bone meal is the real food for this plant. So we have to take about a fistful or little more than that for this amount of mixture. So after taking all this, we'll mix it well, and then we'll start doing our repotting. Some people don't want to put bone meal in their soil mix, but for Aglaonemas, let me tell you, friends, this bone meal is very important. And if you want, you can put some other substitute like eggshells and chalks and anything, but that will not suffice. Actually, you'll have to put bone meal. Bone meal keeps the plant strong and healthy. So bone meal, there is no substitute for bone meal. So while preparing the soil, you have to wear gloves, and if you are even if you are vegetarian, friends, then also you have to put bone meal in the soil, because you are not going to eat this plant. This is a decorative plant. You are just going to keep it in your living area or indoor the house, or like that. So put bone meal. This is my suggestion. So friends, our next important point is pot size. What should be the pot size for your Aglaonemas? You can plant your Aglaonema in any kind of pot, You can take ceramic pot, you can take plastic pot also, or the earthen pots also. Earthen pots will get dried up a little quicker than the ceramic pots. So I prefer ceramic pots, and you can take broader ceramic pot or a smaller ceramic pot. If you want to keep your aglaonemas, for a longer period, for a few years, you don't have time to propagate it or change it into a different pot, then you can take a broader pot like I have taken, this one. So that you can keep your aglaonemas for 3-4 years. They'll keep on producing baby shoots, and you if you want to propagate it, you can do it just by the stem cutting. And if you have time, then you can propagate it in smaller pots also, like this. This has been propagated from a mother plant, and I like to do it, so I keep it in some smaller pots also. You can see the eyelet also. The plant has started reproducing. So it depends on your choice, friends, totally. So better that you take smaller pots. And next important point is fertilizers. What should be the fertilizers? Fertilizers can be given monthly, because this plant doesn't need much fertilizers. So it's better if we give monthly fertilizers. You can give cow dung compost or your homemade compost or some neem khali at times, and some liquid fertilizers also you can give like this 20-20-20, this NPK. You can mix 1 spoon in 1 liter of water and just spray the foliage and put in the soil also. So this will keep the plant healthy. Its foliage is very important. Its beauty is from its foliage only. Although it gives flowers also and it gives seeds also, but it's better that we concentrate on the foliage only. So these are the fertilizers. So there is one more fertilizer that is called seaweed liquid. It comes in granule forms also and liquid forms also. This is a liquid form, friends, and you can take 1 spoon in 1 liter of water, mix it well, and then spray the same way like NPK. You can spray the foliage, you put it in the soil also, and it will keep the plant healthy. The seaweed has got lots of nitrogen, and that is what the foliage needs. Actually, it needs nitrogen and phosphorus, very less potassium. So it's better that we give all these liquid fertilizers and spray the foliage also. So that's about the fertilizers. And the next important point is light requirement. How much light should be given should we keep it in the sun? It needs only partial light, friends. If you keep it outside, then it should be kept under the trees or in the verandas or balconies. Or if you want to keep it inside the drawing room, or then you should keep it near the window where the source of light is there, because they need lots of light. Indirect light, not direct light. With direct light, their foliage will get spoiled. Okay, the next important point is propagation. As I told you in my earlier points also, that propagation is very easy. In a year, you can take out the plant and divide it by the roots and make lots of other pots containing this plant. And the other method is stem cutting. If your plant becomes very leggy, it doesn't look good, then you can do the stem cutting propagation also. So here I am going to do the root division propagation method, friends. This is a live demonstration, and please see it carefully. So this I have taken out. The lot of soil has crumbled down, but that is what is needed. So the first thing what we are going to do is we have to clean the roots, because during winter season lots of roots get rot. So we have to make some fungicide water and dip our this Aglaonema's roots in that, clean it properly, and then only we do the division. So friends, I had to change my place of work, you see, because that side it was getting very sunny. The day temperatures are very high these days, although it's just February. Okay friends, just see this. I have already taken out the roots and dipped them in fungicide water, little bit you can see, and I have already cut them also. Sorry I couldn't show you that because while shifting I had to do it immediately. So it's not a very difficult work. You just have to take one very sharp knife, and wherever the joint is you have to cut it in a very in one cut manner. So I have already prepared the soil. I showed you how to prepare that, and now I'm going to plant my these roots division method propagation plants. So friends, first we have to apply some fungicide on the roots, that later on they don't catch any fungus. This is a precautionary method. You can do it or you can leave it also. And this is the Rootex and the rooting hormone, and just dip your plant in that. And this is also optional. You can do it or you don't do it. The plant will grow even without that, because the season is there. Time is very important while doing gardening. So I have planted about 3 Aglaonemas in this, and I'm going to put all of them because I want my pot to look full. Maybe next year I will divide them again and make 2 pots then, Yeah. So friends, now the last thing, only the watering, so that the plants get settled in soil, and little bit of sprinkling on the foliage. So this is how it is done, and the work is over now. So one more point is there, friends. I want to tell you one more very important thing. That is that if you want to make your plant bushy, like this one is looking a lone plant, but this is, I have just done this with root division method, but just to show you, this is the way you have to pluck it, the way I showed you just now. You have to use both the hands, one at the downside and one to pluck the new leaf which is coming out from the plant, so that the root develops and these stems also grow well and grow sooner. Okay, so that's it. So friends, see you in the next video. Happy gardening. Bye bye.